Hey everyone, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching. If y'all are new to the channel, thank y'all for coming in. If you need to contact me or have any questions about any repair video that you see on the channel or this repair in particular, you can email me at ellis@ellismowers.com. You can also find my website at ellismowers.com, as well as my Instagram and Facebook at ellismowers09. We're going to repair fully this Poulan Pro riding mower, but the first thing in the video, because I want to make a video specifically on this, is pretty much a lot of issues with the Poulan riding mowers, the Craftsman YT, YS, YTS, all those that were made like right after around 2006 to about 2016, before MTD took them over, as well as Husqvarnas, the ones that kind of look like this, and there's others that kind of look the same. A common issue with these is associated with steering alignment, and I have found a better way, I guess a little bit cheaper way, that you may be able to realign your steering without having to buy new drag links, as long as your drag links are in okay shape. And I'll show you that right off the top of this video. We got to fix a bent blade and a couple of other things. So I'll give you a quick walk around of the mower, how I got it, and we'll fix this first, and then we'll move on to the other stuff. Alright guys, so you can kind of see that this mower does have some toe out issues. If you look hard enough, you can kind of see that. Let me turn one wheel straight, because both are a little bit kind of toed out right now. So I have that wheel straight now. We'll see how bad the other one is. You can kind of see that now better, right? So we're kind of straight here, cocked out right here. Really quick, a walk around of this mower. It is a running and driving and cutting mower. I sold a Murray, the Monster Energy Murray that's featured on the channel. I got this and a Troy-Bilt Bronco on trade. I did a 2-for-1 because I know that this mower didn't really have much of a problem, and I knew that it would probably bring about $300 more than what the Murray would. And then I've got a Troy-Bilt back there that was running and driving, although it needs a little bit more work. This is a PP175G42 Poulan Pro. The premise is the same with the steering on most of your Craftsman YS, YT series. Really, really bargain basement AYP, HOP, Husqvarna mower here. I mean, even the battery cables are thin, and everything is just really cheap on this thing. Even like standard deck, like even the throttle is just, they just literally, even the steering, everything's so low. I mean, the ergonomics are not very good on this mower, but it's the same premise. 17.5 horsepower Briggs, made in 2017. So this is arguably the last year for one of these cheaper mowers. 6-speed. I had to put a connecting link. It was missing 2 trans bolts for some reason. This thing really wasn't used at all before the guy got it, but it is, he beat it to death trying to run a lawn service with it, and had a trailer that didn't have very good ramps on it, and so it was literally just like rumble strips trying to get it up. That's why this is so bad. Let me get the tools that I need. We'll jack this up and see if we can get it better aligned without having to do much to it. Alright guys, so I'm under the mower, and this is the right front tire. This is a little tab that comes in from the right front that attaches to a drag link that goes to the steering gear back there in the back, where the steering wheel is. So what I'm going to do, this is a 13 mil. I think if you have a 9/16 you'll be okay also. What we're going to do is take this thing off, this drag link. There we go. Uh-oh. Time for a new battery in that, but just take the drag link off. Grab a pair of pliers. Let me go grab that and swap my battery out on my ratchet. Alright, so we're back under the mower here. I've got the pliers and stuff. What happens is, I think whenever you have a big impact, these will bend some. And what happens is they'll bend away from me and up. So what I do a lot of times before I go replacing drag links is take a pair of pliers and just try and bend this tab. There's a locking nut as well. Bend this tab back down. I'm going to get you over here so that I have a little bit more leverage. And if you're able to do that, and another way to do it is to get it out here, to turn the wheel, to give you a little bit more room to work with. There we go. And a little bit more leverage. So we're going to try and do it here. There we go. See how I bent it down? So what that does is when you bend it down, it kind of bends it out a little bit. And what it does is it allows, let me see if I can explain it very well. It shortens, or it actually lengthens, makes it longer in between the where the drag link hooks to the steering and where it attaches to the spindle here, which means it pulls the wheel in some. And I'll show you that here in a minute. I think we're going to have to do it to the other side on this too, so just hang tight. We'll put this back on. Get my wrenches. And sockets. It's weird, it's a 13 on top and a 9/16 on the bottom. So, alright. Put this back on. Okay, so now let me give you a look at how the tires are. So we're still a little out, but you see how it's better? Let me put this wheel straight again to give you a better reference. We're going to look at the front of the mower. You can see it's a little bit better, but still a little out. So I'm going to do the same thing to this side. See if we can lengthen it up just a little bit more. And hopefully that'll get us to where it's not crazy ridiculous. Let me look at it while we're sitting on the mower here. See how bad it is. So you can still see it's out a little bit, but nothing crazy. Let me do it to the left side and we'll see how close we get when we do that. Alright guys, so I did the other side. Pardon the sun glare. It's still not exactly where I want it to be. So what I'm going to do is try and hit the, see from the back angle here. You can see it's nowhere near as bad as it was, but you can see it's still out just a little bit. So it, like I said, this one was pretty bad. And sometimes in really bad cases, you have to kind of go a little bit more extreme with what you need to do. So I'm going to pull this back off, pull this side back off. I'm going to see if I can twist the drag link a little bit, maybe even hit it with a hammer, or the spindle, excuse me. Hit it with a hammer and see if I can get it to where it'll actually bend back from where it originally was bent. Because I really don't want to have to be replacing drag links, because these links are in good shape, save for the fact that they are not aligned. So see if I can bend it out some. Take a hammer. I'm going to try and hammer them out a little bit. See if that helped any. Maybe marginally. Let me check now. That's, ooh, I can see it. That's not bad, actually. Let's just take a look. Back it up. Roll it forward. We have just the, it's just the tiniest bit of toe out still. And like I said, if you have a minor toe out issue, then this probably helps. If it's a major toe out issue, you might have to go to some different lengths in order to get this back to where it was. So we might have to, I'm going to work around a little bit more, see if I can bend those tabs down just a little bit. I've had good success when it's just a small toe out situation, but this one was pretty extreme. Even though it doesn't look like it on camera, we've probably gotten half of it out just by doing that. So I'm going to work on the other half and see if I can get it to where they'll at least align a little bit better. Let me work on it a little bit off camera. I'll show you my finished findings. Alright guys, so after a little bit more bending, I'll push it forward a little bit and I'll do my best to show you what I'm trying to show y'all. And let me get it right there. You can kind of see alignment wise right there, we're pretty close. Pretty close. Man, that's about the furthest I've had to bend down drag links in order for them to work. But like I said, you can kind of see that we are much better than we were. Much better. I do need to air up that tire a little bit. It is driving better. I wish I could get it back in just a little bit more, but I don't want to. I'm kind of riding the fine line of bending the deck spindles down along with trying to not make it so that these drag links are going to wear out on us prematurely, because they do have a little bit of bend and flex to them already for what I've got going on with them there. but you can kind of see almost right there where that drag link has been bent up just a little bit. I've tried to do these with like bending those drag links back. Them things are beasts, and I just don't have the means to. I found that this is the second best way to get an alignment accomplished. Like I said, we probably are maybe just a tiny bit out still, but it's steering a lot better, and most new owners won't notice it at all, let alone notice much of a difference, especially with the tires aired up. My guess is that he let this run flat. He probably ran it in 6th gear, tried to race it up the trailer, and bent this. So I know that it's riding a fine line with drag link ball joints and stuff like that, but it is driving better, steering better, and is much more usable than what it was. So that kind of concludes this portion of the video. I am going to air up that tire. We're going to do a little bit of other maintenance on this mower now that I have it. If you want to fix this once and for all, if you want to fork up the $60-some to put drag links in the mower, that's the fix that'll fix it 100% of the time. Bending these spindle tabs down some and trying to bend them out will give you a cheaper fix, and make your drag links last a little bit longer, I guess, because you would have to replace them anyways, right? So it's not really a win, or it's not really a lose-lose in this case. Let me fix the other small items with this mower, and we will keep on cruising. All right, guys, about the only thing left to do this thing is put the blade on. I did align the steering wheel. Steering wheel was a little off. It was like over this way. So like I said, I lined it up. All you gotta do is take this 1/2-inch nut off. You'll see like a steering gear or a gear where the wheel bolts on. You just line it up. Make sure your wheels are straight. Man, I wish I could get that alignment just a tiny bit better. 90% of buyers will not even notice, but people like me, it's like it just drives me nuts. But like I said, I don't really want to mess with it anymore than I need to, as long as it works and steers and drives well. That's what really matters. Like I said, the only thing left for me to do here, I'll show you under the deck. The left side blade is pretty good. I probably just need to sharpen that one. But the right one, you can see it got bent really bad right there. So what I need to do is take that blade off and just replace it. That's a 9/16. I'm going to get my small impact out and we'll take that off. Just see how bad it really is. Alright guys, so this is pretty easy. All you got to do is get your mower jacked up. Maybe it's a 5/8. It is a 5/8. Some of the older ones are 9/16. 5/8 it is. Alright. Get a kick. Get that out of the way. Deck looks good otherwise, which is good. Here, let me get you out from under here. I'll just show you how bad it is. Let me loosen that a little bit. So you can see that it's just bent down. So straight and then bent all the way down. I'm going to look at my, like I said, the other side looks good. I'm going to look at my toolbox, see if I can find another blade, high lift blade, 42-inch, that'll work with this. Alright guys, I found a blade in good condition. It does not appear to be bent, which is good. That's the old blade. This will match the blade that's on it. I had a couple of mulching blades actually right there, but you can see kind of they're starting to wear off an edge a little bit. So I'll save those for a mower that's not going to be as nice in the future. Putting this back on can be a little tricky. Shouldn't be too bad. You just have to get yourself lined up in the star. Once you do that, you just have to make sure that you get the bolt in right. So like there we get lined up in the star. What I like to do is if I can reach under here, but my arm is all in the way. I'm just screwing this bolt in now while I'm holding the blade up. Oops. So that gets me enough. That way I know I'm not messing up the star pattern. Now I'm just going to hit it with the impact. And we're on there now. So, if we look at the blades over here, we'll get everything lined up. Oop. Can actually see that other one's a little bit bent too. Huh. I might have to just suck it up and put new blades on this thing. Unless he jacked up one of the spindles, which is entirely possible. Oh, I think the design of this blade's a little bit different, that's why. Well, this thing might be getting new blades on it. We'll see. I mean, the mower quality of the mower is going to show, but putting new blades on it, I think I might do that. Thoughts. Let's go ahead and do that. I don't get mowers this nice in very often. Alright guys, new blades. You can see that alignment is much better. So, that's good. Guess now question is, I don't know if there's any question. It runs good. Blades are fine. We just need to lower it down and level the deck. I'll show you how I do that real quick, and then I'll give it a wash and, you know, be done with it. And make a quick couple $100. Alright guys, so here's how I do this. On the sides I get oil filters, oil filter boxes, and I like these SuperTech ST3614s. That's what I use for air oil filters on lawnmowers. They have like a little logo, and a lot of times you want to kind of get them. A logo is a good relational visual reference on these. So this side is a little bit lower than that side, but on these newer 42-inch AYP decks, there's only one adjustment that you can do side to side. You don't have it on both sides like the old LT1000s, and it's right over here. So what we want to do is we want to lower the left side of the deck in accordance with to get it lined up with the right side of the deck. So we're going to loosen it a 3/4 inch bolt here, and we're going to just do it a few turns. It shouldn't take much because we're not that far off. Now I'll take a look under. I can't show y'all very well under it on this side, but we're like right above the Super and SuperTech on this side, and I mean, you don't have to get it absolutely perfect because the deck's going to float around a little bit. You just don't want it cutting serious banking in the yard. So on this side, I feel like getting down on the ground a lot because that's what you're going to do. We're right above the word super. So that's super, so to speak. You can measure it on the front, but since there's not two mounting brackets on the front, there's really no way for you to adjust the left and the right very much. As long as you got the side to side good, and you're probably all right. I might measure the front just in case, just to make sure while I'm down here. And in that case, we're going to just pull this filter out. Might do it right this way. Push the blade over to the front. Man, I went a little too far. And then put the filter in. Do the same thing on the other side over here. And then we're just gonna, honestly, we're just gonna look down the line when I get down here. So right above super. They're both right at the top of the diamond, so we're good. Usually if you get that side right on these decks, the front alignment is good. You don't have to worry about the back because the front should be cutting lower than the back as it is. So, that's how I align decks. I know they have a deck alignment tool, but if you got a couple oil filter boxes that match sitting in your garage, works pretty well. And we'll put that back in the cabinet. Boop. And all this needs is a wash now. The oil checks out good. I think it had a fresh oil change pretty recently. We'll check the air filter while we're at it. But I think, yeah, I mean, the air filter is very passable. Let me double, yeah, it's just a little bit of surface dirt, but nothing ungodly dirty. So I'll put that cover back on, give this thing a nice wash, and this thing's going to be out the door. On these Poulans and AYPs, it's nice because you actually do have some blade or part numbers for most of your basic items, like your drive belt, your deck belt, your air filter, spark plug, fuel filter. Actually got keys. Here's a hint, the key's universal. There's two different types of keys. All you gotta do is go to Lowe's and get one. And then you also have your blades. So, put this back on. There we go. I don't know if I'm gonna break out the pressure washer tonight or wait until tomorrow. But this mower's done. I'll give you all a test run of it. Alright guys, we got fading light here, but in terms of finishing everything, this thing's done. And you can say, you look at the front, and it's pretty darn straight. Considering what we started out with, I think we'll be alright. Again, bending those tabs down, it's may not be the best alternative to replacing the drag links, but it's definitely the cheapest because it cost me $0. And I've done this to a few mowers, and they seem to have held up just fine. You shouldn't be riding these things around like you're on a racetrack anyways, you know. A lot of people think they can just cut in 6th gear and take turns at full speed, and that's what wears out. That's what really wears out the drag links. What wears out the front steering of these pretty badly. They're a definite weak link when it comes to this. Like I said, put the new blades on and washed it, and it looks pretty much as close to being new as you can get without being new. Again, this is the bargain basement mower. It's probably going to bring $7 to $750, just considering that it's as nice as it is. And so I'll give you all a startup and walk around. We have, here's your model number and everything. So this was made in March 3rd of 2017, and it's a PP175G42. That's the model. 17.5 horsepower, gear drive, 42-inch. Poulan Pro. And there's your number, model number. So I'm going to start it up and I'll give a ride around, and we'll wrap this thing up. Alright, we're on the mower. Let's crank it up. This is one of those two-step pedals, I think, that you actually have to push down in order to start it. A lot of the newer stuff is going to that, so that you can't start it without being on it. I'm sure it's safety regulations and EPA regulations, because you can, it's measured just fine, because you can still get off of it while it's running. There's still a little bit of dragging with the tire whenever I turn it. If you look, you can kind of see that, I mean, you have to look really closely. Wow, this thing starts off really fast. I popped wheelies in this thing already. Take it up and down the driveway. It's got the mow in reverse. The belt's still a little wet. Good. I just need to grease the fittings of the steering. If anybody's curious about that car in the driveway, I hired some folks to do some drywall work in the house. They're getting it done in a matter of about 2-3 days as opposed to 2 to 3 weeks if I did it. So, money well spent, in my opinion. I mean, get this thing in the light here. It's running good. Cutting fine with those new blades. Again, the toe out issue is, if you look, I mean, you have to look really close in order to see it. So, to 90% of buyers who are in this price range, they'll never know, and that's the goal. As long as it runs, drives, and steers correctly, that's all we need it to do. So that's all for this mower. Just an afternoon project, like I said. I got this. The mower that I sold the guy, I figured would be valued at about $400. That Monster Energy Murray, $400 on a good day, probably more like $350. Like I said, I did a 2-for-1 deal. So I got this, and I got that Troy-Bilt back there. The Troy-Bilt's got one of them Kohler Courages on it, and the block's trying to crack. It's not cracked to the point where I think it's gone, but it might be one of those experimental ones where we might try and JB weld the crack. I'm not sure. I've seen Terrell do some stuff along those lines with the Kohler Courage, and if he does it, I'm sure his shop has a good reputation. I know it does on YouTube. I might try it myself. We'll see. But I like these. Again, it's a weak link with the drag links and the steering, especially if these things have been abused. New drag links fix the issue permanently, but if you don't want to spend the, not permanently until you bend the next one. But if you want to fix it in the meantime, try and get some extended life out of the current ones that you have on the mower. Bending those spindle tabs down, extending the length of those drag links to pull the tires back in. help out a lot. So let me know if y'all do this repair. If you could just go for the new drag links. I've had success with both. If it's any further out than what this was, and drag links are probably your only solution. I had a Craftsman last year that was the same way. So thank y'all for watching. Again, my website's ellismowers.com. You can reach me on Instagram and Facebook at ellismowers09. My email is also ellis@ellismowers.com. If you have any questions or comments about the video, you can put them right here on the comment section, or contact me in either of those ways. Thank you all again for watching. Thank you for the support of the channel, and we will catch you on the next mower repair. See you then.